So we'll see. We'll see what it is, when it is, how it is, why it is, and all the other ises. Should we get Facebook Live working as well? Look like that is tripping as well. Details of their source is connected, so it should be fine. But for some odd reason, it isn't. It isn't. Meanwhile, WNCR YouTube is fine, so we may just omit Facebook today and try Facebook Live another day. We'll try it one more again. And see what we got here. Oh, I didn't complete the post this time. Okay. Okay. So then that is actually making think it might be a reset needed on my equipment. Although YouTube is fine. That's the craziest thing. But anyway, not quite sure what's going on there. Oh, I see what's going on here. Is that and I got absolutely nothing. Then therefore there's nothing that I could do. I don't think that's how it works. Yeah. Anywho, that's what it is. So we are on YouTube, and so there you go. We'll continue with YouTube. Looks like the channel might be locked in now. I don't know because I haven't seen it go off. Again, I haven't been paying attention to it either, so who knows? 24 minutes past 8 o'clock hour this morning on WNCR-TV Now. Well, actually, there might be. That's kind of slow, too. Kind of slow, too. Oh, I clicked out of it. That's why. Okay. Okay. So we'll keep going here and going like the Energizer Bunny. It is 25 minutes past 8 o'clock hour on this Wednesday, a day we've never seen before, and certainly glad to be here on the 6th day of August. Can you believe that time is flying ever so quickly? We'll be talking about September and Labor Day here pretty soon. I'm telling you, time waits for no one. But it does look like the signal is locked in now. Good, good for that. Because it definitely wasn't blue screen. What I saw here in the studio, but nevertheless, good to go. So again, no Facebook for the moment. Not sure what's going on there. And there are other alternatives I could do for Facebook, but we'll just do the YouTube. So those who know the YouTube channel, in fact, I will then go and post the YouTube link on. You can do this share, copy link, go back to Facebook, go there, and we go to the home screen of some sort. Do that, and we can say check us out live on on YouTube. Simple. So, I should have did, go back. At followers. There we go. So that way everybody gets the message that Facebook isn't functioning. But of course, there is that handy dandy YouTube that we are live on this morning as well. So backups are always good. Link is posted on Facebook. So I think we did what we can do. How about that? And then I'll troubleshoot the Facebook later on today. Of course, today is Wednesday, so that means it's Weekly Joy with Eki, so she'll be with us in just a moment as well. And then what else is happening? Oh, well, I'll share the video about the Nash County School Board meeting in which they'll be talking about, what would they be talking about? The no cell phone policy. So no cell phone policy within the school district during the instructional time of the class. So we will hear all about that as well. There was some Facebook conversation centered around the no cell phone policy as well. And I'm assuming they'll let parents know during open house. Open houses are starting tomorrow or is tomorrow. So that may be a time because some parents said, I hadn't heard anything about it. And of course, so we'll play that video. And those who are watching will be able to share and disseminate the information to the community. Because one thing you don't want is children getting referrals for cell phone usage and not putting away and all this kind of stuff. And so I'm pretty sure you're going to have some child like, I can take my cell phone. My mama said this and my daddy said that. And there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff, unnecessary stuff. So you go ahead within these next couple of days to get the child to understand that while they're at school, they're not there to be on their phone. They're there to learn and not let that device be a distraction. So we'll play the conversation straight from the Nash County Public Schools. Now, I don't know what Edgecombe County Public Schools are, so maybe we will try to get some information relative to how Edgecombe County Public Schools are handling their policy updates as well based on the new state law. So one thing the school boards will be able to say across this state is not something that we did. It was, it's the law. It's the law of North Carolina, so they have to follow the law there. So that's going to be what it is today. So 1 minute, so we can go and get started, of course, on this wonderful Wednesday with Eki here this morning. I want to say good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you as well. How are things? I guess you're getting ready for the fashion show.
Yeah, next Saturday.
Next Saturday is the fashion show.
So exciting. You're going to be there?
Street?
Howard.
Yeah,
Howard. Right behind Mo and D's. Between Sunset and Westerns. I want to see all y'all there. Bring the family, bring the babies, bring the husband, bring the kids.
Bring everybody.
Bring everybody.
There you go.
We have 18 vendors, all different array from food trucks to a food vendor. Scoops is going to be there. Shout out to Scoops going to be there. Spud King. A lot of local entrepreneurs here in Rocky Mount are going to feature their products and services. Shout out to Rita doing this event together, and all the diverse models that we have. We have some surprise performances happening, and it's going to be a beautiful vibe. You want me to move over again?
No. I see something.
You see something? No problem. It's going to be it. So I can't wait to see you guys August 16th. August 16th is from 3 to 7. Come and support the vendors from 3 to 5. We have performances. And 5 o'clock, one of our models, she's a senior, shout out to Mary Warren. She said to come and see her, not boots on the ground, but her heels on the ground, to come and see her do her heels on the ground. So excited. Yes. Hi, beautiful people. Oh, I didn't go live on social media. Hi, beautiful people. We are here, and today we're going to talk about finding joy through we talked about finding joy through manifestation last week. Love that word. Powerful word. If you guys remember, I'm going to give you guys some quick recap of what we talked about of finding joy through manifestation. 3 quick reminders. Manifestation starts with belief into action. You got to believe it and then put it into action. Joy aligns you with what you are calling in. You have to be joyful in the space of what you want to manifest. You have to believe it. And the last thing is You don't have to wait to feel the joy. Live in it now. Live in that beautiful home you want. Live in that new job you're craving. Live in that marriage and love. Live in all that space, whatever it is that you want to manifest, big or small. Live in it with joy, right? This week, we are talking about finding joy through disappointment. How do we find joy through disappointment? Here's a definition. Disappointment happens when things don't go how we prayed for, we hoped for, and it could feel like a stop, but it's often just a pivot. So don't get caught up in disappointment. It could be a pivot, and we're going to use our mind to see how we can find joy through that feeling. Disappointments aren't the end. They are divine redirections. Sometimes a no is a not just yet, or not this way. And we're going to use joy to figure all those things out. My core message for today is, y'all, life is messy. People let you down. Plans fall through. But even there, joy can still live, especially when we offer grace. When we offer grace. Some things to know is that if someone disappoints you, you never know what someone is carrying. You never know what someone's going through. A lot of times you can see a smile can hide a heavy heart. Shout out to those who smile through challenges. Y'all are special people. Yes. In disappointments, talk less, assume less, and pray more. Right? Talk less, assume less, and pray more. We need more compassion. I think I wrote this in a post. I did write this in a post. We need more compassion, less criticism. Because life be lifing. Life be life. But God be a Godian. Did I say that right? It's another, God does his thing too. So when people disappoint me, you, whoever, grace opens up a space for healing, for others, and for ourselves. You're talking about joy through disappointment. Joy through disappointment, what does that sound like? You want to say, it didn't go as planned, but I trust God. Maybe this delay is protection or preparation. Seriously. And I choose joy even now. How do we find joy in disappointment? You want to acknowledge what hurt. Feel it. Don't live in it. Give grace to yourself and others. Reframe, like we talked about. Maybe it's redirection, not rejection. Always, always, always protect your peace. And keep loving and keep shining, okay? So those of you just jump in, we are talking about finding joy through disappointments. Here's some quick reminders. Disappointments are pivot, not punishment. Grace creates space to grow. Always trust God's timing. And life is too precious to carry the hurt. Life is too precious to carry the hurt. You know, always I'll have a reflection question. So if you guys are live anywhere, respond, text me back, respond on the chat, whatever it is. Or think about it yourself. What disappointments are you holding on to? And how can you release it with grace, trust, and joy? What disappointment are you holding on to? And how can you release it with grace, trust, and joy? You want to answer that?
You know, I try not to hold on to those things. So
Let's go.
I think that what resonated with me when you said it, hey, feel it, but don't live in it. And so I think if you live in it, you will hinder yourself from new opportunities and things opening up. So you have those temporary moments of disappointment, but again, you just like water on a duck's back. You just let it flow right off, right? So that's kind of how I operate.
I love that. I can relate, like water off a duck's back.
Yeah.
It took a little while.
Okay.
Because I'm such an empath. I feel. I'm a Cancer. We're sensitive. But the past couple of years, I've learned to water off a duck's back. Because what are you carrying that for?
For what? Exactly.
It's no. So great.
Yeah.
Don't let it hinder you. Let it go. Let it go. Thank you so much. My closing thoughts. Disappointment may knock, but it doesn't get to stay. Close that door. Let it out. Let it redirect, not define you, and let grace lead, and let joy answer. Affirmations. I release the hurt and receive the lesson. I trust God's redirection, and I give grace freely to others and myself. And last one is I choose joy even here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Weekly Joy with Eki every Wednesday at 8:30 right here on WNCR-TV Now, WHAA 102.5. Again, thank you so much. And so as we continue the conversation today, of course, we are on YouTube. So those who know, you can find us on WNCR-TV's YouTube page. We did share it on Facebook, and so we do see people have hopped on. But, of course, you may have to be a subscriber or user of YouTube to comment. But I do see that Gwendolyn Swain said good morning, and Ray Dodger said he didn't get the notification. I'm glad you was able to chime in with us today as well. And I know so many others are viewing because I can see the statistical data there as well. You too. And so we'll continue the conversation that we had on yesterday as well. We was talking about the school board new policy. And so I'm going to share that video with the viewers on today as well, so that we will have a understanding as to what's going to take place in the 2025-2026 school year. And so without further ado, here's that conversation from yesterday.
Update on.
Well, it wants to take a little commercial. Oh, no, it didn't. Okay, there we go.
Good evening. So on Friday, Dr. Ellison and I met with all of our middle, elementary, and high school principals to go over policy code 4318 to specifically talk about instructional time and how it should be defined. Middle school and elementary principals were in agreement that they wanted the instructional time to start when students entered the building. That they had already, for the most part, been operating in that manner. And that was the way that they wanted to go, how they wanted to define instructional time. High schools was a little bit different. High schools felt like, because of the age of the students, that they really wanted to pursue at the end of the first tardy bell. So if school starts at 7:30 for traditional high school, when that tardy bell rings at 7:30, cell phones are away and they're away for the remainder of the day. For the early college city, I think it would be around 9:15, Francis Smith, would be the situation for them. So their recommendation is that instructional time, again, for the elementary and middle schools is when students enter the building. For the high school, it would be when the tardy bell rings to begin school for that first period class.
Did they say high school have any concerns, pro, con, or cell phones during lunch?
They did not want cell phones during lunch. Transition between classes, once they were away, they wanted them away.
Was there any clarification around the end of day? That's just when the last bell rings for middle, elementary.
When that bell rings or whenever school is dismissed at the end of the day, then they would have access to their cell phones again.
All right. Excuse me. So if a parent needs to get up with a kid because of a unexpected death in the family or anything like that, they're gonna call the office.
Yes, sir.
And
that is our recommendation, is that they call the front office.
all right.
Any more questions? Mr. Weber is going to follow
Yeah,
up.
is that
with
great?
you. I'm sorry.
Mr. Gray.
Sorry. That's great.
So how are we supposed to, what's the solution to our students not having those phones during instructional time? Are they required to place them in a locker? Are they required to place them in a packet? Because I know I went to state school board conference, and that was one of the presentations where they had a device where the students could place their phone in the device at the beginning of the school day, and it's secured where they do not have access to pull it out. It's in their possession, but they cannot take it out to use it until at the end of the day, they walk by a scanning machine. And I can't remember the name of the packet that was used to secure. No, thank you. Is that an option that we're looking at, or how are we supposed to ensure that the students don't have access to their phones if we're saying you can't use it from the time instruction starts until the time.
For the board's discussion last week, with Dr. Farrell, may I, because you weren't here, was that the students will have the devices on their person. The district will not absorb any liability per the devices. We're just kind of managing the access to the device.
And to the point that I think that you're making, Mr. Gray, is for high schools and particularly, it's going to be a learning curve, but the expectation is going to have to be set by the principal, school staff, that the cell phones are away, out of sight. We would love to do something like beyond the packet pouches, but of course that's money, and it's not something that we had kind of figured in our budget to pursue at this point. And so the onus of that is going to, first of all, be on the students, because they're going to know the rules, the expectation. And then second of all, would be on the teachers and the school staff to manage that if a student has them out or visible or on and using them. Yes, sir.
I know look, I'm all for the kids. I mean, they're glued to them as it is. Mine are too. But there's going to be a lot of people wanting to get to the bathrooms. Have you considered all this that's going to put on the teachers?
The conversation that Dr. Ellis had with our principals is that, first of all, we're not trying to make this a fight. There's a clearly set expectation around cell phones and personal electronic devices. That information is going to be shared with students, it'll be shared with staff, it'll be shared with parents. Students have to have the responsibility of following the rules. If they don't follow the rules and they're caught in the act of doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, then there are consequences that come along with that, and they're going to be subject to the consequences. But Dr. Ellis made it clear he does not want staff, he doesn't want teachers fighting with students. If they have them out, they're not supposed to be out. Teacher asks for it, they refuse, they make an administrator aware. Don't try to take it, don't try to fight with a student, because the expectation will already be set.
You said the end of the school day is elementary, middle is when?
Whenever the bell rings or the students are dismissed.
All right, but the policy says they're prohibited elementary and middle school students who participate in after-school programs are prohibited from using wireless communication. That contradicts, right?
So that would be after-school programs, like if it's tutoring or something of that nature that is held by the school. Not athletics, not for football, athletics.
That's not considered an after program.
Not instructional.
Okay. All right, because I mean that could be confusing.
Yeah, when we looked at that and we read that, what we were thinking about is our after school programs that's focused along instruction, learning, things of that nature.
And I just kind of want to make that clear to somebody. An after school program is anything we do after school.
I got it.
So you may want to a little bit more specific.
And that's a great event in itself.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
When they have in-house events like people come in to see the kids or pep rallies and stuff like that, is there an exception to bringing the phones out then, or is the expectation still the same that it stays put away?
If I was principal, the expectation would be the same.
That's an easy question.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I just want to make sure I understood his question. When you said outside visitors, you mean like if parents were coming on campus, that would not apply. It's only to students.
No, like if a band or something, some people are coming in for educational purposes for the student and they want to record it or
Like
something
career
that.
activities, you know,
yeah.
where they have showcases or things like that, extra activities within the school. Where outside community partners are coming in.
That fall under authorized use by teacher.
It could, if that's, if that was part of what the teacher was doing in that particular setting. But just generally speaking, if we were having a pep rally, and again, if I was the principal, the expectation would be the same.
One more.
There are times where there's testing in the classroom, and after testing's over with, there's still plenty of time. And the teachers in the past have offered, hey, y'all get on your cell phones, do whatever for the rest of the class. Is that going to still be authorized?
That should not be authorized during that time.
I'm just letting you know what goes on in the real world.
Hopefully it's not state testing, because then that would be a whole nother issue for us. So I'm going to assume that I hope and pray that that was just a teacher made test.
But, and it's like we stressed to the principal, this is not a Ashe County public school. The governor defined it law. We were tasked to define the instruction time piece. Other than that, like what Mr. was saying, it doesn't matter now. How early you finish from a test is out. That is instruction time. The only instructional time we're defining is in a hallway, in a lunchroom. Other than that, that's all we're defining for Nash County. Other than that, they're not supposed to be at all.
And to be quite honest, board members, I know that most of you have probably looked at the policy that's currently in place. It was already a pretty stringent policy. We just did not push it through.
Anybody else? Mr. Weber?
So that is,
thank you. Good evening, board members.
he's going to explain a little bit too, I
So
think.
following that discussion, we have two different versions of the policy to
This is
show
the attorney
you
for the school board.
tonight. Last Monday during committee, the direction to myself and to staff was to create some changes to the revised version that would do three things. Under authorized use section A, we were asked to draft language that would delegate to the superintendent the authority to establish regulations that specify parameters for teachers to grant permission for educational purposes. Because, right, I mean, this is all driven by statute now, where it used to be something that was wholly in the board's hands. Now there's a statute essentially prohibits communication devices from being used, displayed, or turned on, with just a handful of exceptions, right? One of those exceptions is regards to educational purposes. The others have to do with a student's IEP, Section 504 plan, or a student's health plan. So you can see here, we've made that change. I think the version last week delegated that authority to define educational purposes to your school building leaders. The committee members wanted uniformity. So we revised that so that that delegation goes to the superintendent. Just below number 3, the second bit of direction for us was to define instructional time. Last week in committee, there was discussion around keeping things the same at elementary, middle, and high school so that you have the same definition. And the discussion there was that it would begin with the first tardy bell or end at dismissal. So we've drafted it that way, but you've heard from your staff here that they're recommending a different version, so we'll pull that up next. I just want to walk through this just so you can see what we did. The third thing that we were supposed to do and come back to you was to provide some clarity around smartwatches and how and when they can be used. So we drafted this language here that would clarify smartwatches may be worn when they're used as watches, but all features that would turn them into a wireless communication device, essentially, right? Voice messaging, other data communication has to be disabled when the general use of wireless communication devices is prohibited. So those were the 3 changes we made coming out of committee. Now staff have, after talking with principals, recommended a different version. But I'll pause here to see if there are any questions about this before walking through the staff recommended version. Okay. So we're going to keep pull up the new version. So, so if you stay with the first paragraph here, there are a couple changes. One has to do with smartwatches. Dr. Pirro, I don't believe you touched on this, but as I understand it, principals at the elementary, middle, and high school level just wanted smartwatches to be treated like any other wireless communication device, like cell phones. So instead of having to guess, right, is that smartwatch, does it have its, data turned on, right? Can it be used to take pictures or videos? Just to say, hey, it's like a cell phone, it's got to be put away. So what we've done in this version is just included smartwatches in the definition of wireless communication device. That means anywhere in this policy you see that term, it applies to smartwatches. So there's the general prohibition on having it in use or displayed. That applies to cell phones and smartwatches. So that's one change here. If you'll scroll down, the delegation to the superintendent is the same, but what we've done with the definition of instructional time is changed it so that at the elementary and middle school level, instructional time is now defined as beginning upon arrival at school and ending at dismissal. And at the high school level, it is defined as beginning with the first tardy bell and ending at dismissal. And then you'll see I've deleted the language about smartwatches because instead of having some different rule for those, they're just lumped in with everything else. So this is the staff recommended version. I'm available to answer questions and happy to facilitate discussion.
So Jason, what do we need to do to make this so we can get this taken care of tonight?
Right. Statutory deadline is January 1 to have this policy adopted. There are some boards who are waiting to do that. There are others who are looking to have a revised version in place before the start of the school year. My understanding is that's what you want to do. So if if the board supports the staff recommended version, there could be a motion to approve on first reading. If you do that, to be clear, that means it's effective, now and effective at the beginning of the school year. And you would not need to wait 30 days or bring it back for second reading. And there's no, under your board policy, development policy, since this is a revised version of his existing policy, you can take action on it tonight.
Mr. Chairman, that would go ahead.
Only question, either for Dr. Fair or Dr. Ellis, can you give us a little bit on the smartwatches? Because I think that is a change from maybe what we knew, but obviously coming from the school buildings, they're just wanting to shut them off.
Yes, sir. And I think for the most part, if there was one person who was not in agreement with it, there was either one or two, but I believe it was everyone from what I can remember, that they were in agreement that smartwatches are an electronic device that can be used to communicate, and that they wanted to treat them in the same manner that they treated cell phones, that they could have them on them, but they needed to be away and not visible.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I will make the motion that we accept the staff version that Mr. Farrer presented, that we waive first read, and it'll be as I have my senior moment. Approval on first read, and we're waiving the 30 days, waiving second read.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Weeks, second by Mr. Whitfield on policy 4318. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. One. Raise your hand if you say no. Mr. Bizzett, Mr. Edwards. Motion carried.
So there you go. That is the starts day one of Nash County Public Schools. I did call Edgecombe County Public Schools while I was showing that to you as well. I guess those are some Nash County Public School students that showed on the screen there. But Edgecombe County Public Schools, at their meeting on Monday, they're also going to be discussing their cell phone policy. And as you know, it is, the law say it must be in place by January. It really doesn't make any sense. I guess some school boards may do it that way, but I think that's ridiculous, because if you start a school year off in August, and from August to December, you've got one cell phone policy, then the kids go home for a winter break and they come back up. Here's a new thing. If you start it right from day one in August when school starts, students are already conditioned to it, versus trying to swing something to them on the next semester or the second half of the instructional time period. So kudos to Nash County for starting in August. Hopefully Edgecombe County will do the same versus waiting to January, but we'll bring you their conversation they're supposed to have at their school board meeting on Monday. And their meetings are also publicized via social media. So we'll be able to bring you that content if you don't watch it live in person. I did see a couple of comments. Well, in today's time, technology kids, people are going to find a device to communicate. The new glass hearing aids, our teachers and staff not allowed to have cell phones. Now, this cell phone policy is only restricted to students. And is it wrong? Is this so the wrongdoing at schools are captured? Yeah, so that is, I was talking to somebody yesterday about that. Is that if you remove the cell phones and some of those things that happen in schools where students pull out the phones, they want me to do it. Now, I'm not going to say that some wrongdoing at school happens and a child who has a cell phone on his or her person, they don't pull that device out and start capturing. I don't think this is going to stop that. For those type of incidents, it may delay it from the onset. Most of the time, you don't see the onset of those altercations anyway. Within schools, you see them moments after something else happened. Then you have to tell whatever the narrative was surrounded by the story. So, Nash County Public Schools, there is no cell phone time during instructional time, and instructional time is defined when the child enters the building. If they're in elementary and middle school. High school is by the second tardy bell, so meaning kids can be inside the building up till 7:30. At that point, cell phones need to be out of sight, out of mind, and you're completely focused on school work. So that's going to be that. And again, you heard the conversation from the assistant superintendent, assistant superintendent, anyway, about that there would be no arguing and fighting with the kids over the phones. You make administrative referral as for that regard. So we'll see how that all unfolds during this upcoming school year, and what kind of Facebook posts we see from parents. So it's very important that you who know parents or others, that you help disseminate this information. I hope Nash County Public Schools will have some kind of ad going on Facebook or whatever, updating people on the new cell phone policy and what it means for students going back, what the expectations are, and even maybe listing what potential consequences are for violating the school policy. And it may be referring back to consequences already in the policy as it's made up. Anyway, and so what would be any new consequence would be existing consequential plan or flow there for the violation of the cell phone policy. But I hope that it don't be a shock or surprise to parents. One, this was something that North Carolina General Assembly did. It was signed by the governor, and so therefore it became law without a veto override. And this is what's going on here in North Carolina for a multitude of reasonings. Again, Nash County is starting at first day of school. We'll see what Edgecombe County do, but by state law, they must do it by January 1, regardless of having a enforced and a plan and policy dealing with cell phones prohibition during the school day. So that will conclude my information for you today. Again, I do hope that you would take this information and that you would share it with people. That is what I believe my role here in this community has been for quite some time, to help disseminate information in the community about what is going on, so you're prepared, you're in the know, you're empowering and elevating oneself, so that we raise a new level of conscious as we navigate through this thing called life. Lord willing, I'll be back with it tomorrow to do it all over again on Thursday. Thursday, of course, again, Pop's Diner, cannot forget to mention that, every day, Sunday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. right there at 132 South Church Street, downtown Rocky Mount. We'll see you tomorrow to do it all over again on Wncr-Tv Now.